Star Wars Visions. This isn't Star Wars' first try with traditional animation, as they've done so with Clone Wars and Galaxy of Adventures on Star Wars Kids. But this is the first time they've dipped their toes into anime. How was it? Let's talk about it. The Duel. This episode has a very Seven Samurai vibes to it, with the tone and the look. Initially, I wasn't a fan of the black and white because I thought it'd be hard to see things, but the look grew on me. Color is only used on certain objects to emphasize it, such as laser fire and lightsabers, which I thought was very cool. This was the episode with the lightsaber fan thingy many saw in the trailer. It was over the top, but it worked in this episode. I really like the Ronin character. He's mysterious, quiet, but calm. The reveal that he had a red lightsaber was awesome. When he shows all those kyber crystals, it makes you wonder if he was once a Sith but now hunting down Sith, or just a Force wielder that hunts Sith in general. This episode had great action and tension. Yes, it was predictable and uses some tropes, but it worked out really well in this context. I thoroughly enjoyed it and would want a continuation of the Ronin and his adventures. 8 out of 10. Tatooine Rhapsody. This episode wasn't really for me. It was cool to see another Hutt that's not a crime lord, but that was kind of it. I didn't really connect with any of the characters, and I don't think Jabba would have let them live that easily. The song sounded better in Japanese than in English. I know it's hard with this runtime to give character depth, but I just didn't find any of them interesting at all. 5 out of 10. The twins. Let's start with the good. I like the design of both their armors. It reminds me of Darth Vader's. From the trailer, it looked like one was going to be on the light side and the other was going to be on the dark side. But in the episode, turns out they're both actually dark side. Although the male twin, Car, does give off some Luke vibes. This one was kind of too over the top for me. With the 6 arms, lightsaber whip, breathing in space, and the reverse Rian Johnson light speed ramming into your enemy, it took me out of the immersion. I wasn't really invested in it, which is a real shame because we don't get that many stories with protagonists that are from the dark side. 5 out of 10. The Village Bride. This episode was slower, but mildly interesting. I like this animation, but kind of expected more from it. Also, I don't know why the bad guy would have allowed the husband to come along. The yellow samurai lightsaber was cool though. 6 out of 10. The Ninth Jedi. This episode is my favorite animation style. The character designs look awesome. At first I thought the Margrave was a Sith luring the Jedi to kill them, but they pull off a cool double twist that the Jedi are actually Sith acolytes, and the Margrave is actually a Jedi trying to restore the Jedi Order. I really like the unique thing they implemented about the lightsabers changing color according to the wielder's connection to the Force. But the part about the length kind of fell off the radar. The fight scene was epic, with so many lightsabers. I wish we could get more lightsaber fights like this in live action. Towards the end though, it turns out that one of the guys wasn't a Sith acolyte, but was tempted because of the dark side from those around him. I didn't really buy that, and I think he was forgiven too easily. But it had a cool ending shot though. 8 out of 10. TOB1. This one gave off a lot of Mega Man vibes and Astro Boy. Sadly, this was another meh one for me. I didn't really like the animation style, and the robot kid becomes way too strong way too quickly, to the point of beating an Inquisitor. I just didn't buy it. 5 out of 10. The Elder. I also like this episode's animation style. The dynamic between the Master and the Padawan gives me Qui-Gon and Anakin vibes, with the Master being calm and experienced. Even his lightsaber stance is similar to Qui-Gon's. The Padawan is eager for action and a little quippy, similar to Anakin. I appreciated the small touches that show character, like when Dan is winking at the kids and manages to befriend them. The fight scenes were really cool, although I thought the Padawan would actually die since he was sliced. This makes me want them to make a what if, kind of like what they're doing with Marvel series, but for Star Wars, with an episode dedicated to what if Qui-Gon trained Anakin instead of Obi-Wan. Especially with the talk about power at the end, it just oozes so much wisdom, and I think Anakin would have really benefited from that. This is yet another episode I want to see a continuation of. 8 out of 10. Lop Ocho. At first I didn't like it because of the furry rabbit, but as I continued watching I didn't mind it as much. I love the Japanese style setting. It was cool to see 2 point of views from the father and Ocho about the Empire's occupation on their planet. But towards the end I feel like Ocho becomes an over-the-top villain way too quickly. I think instead of this argument scene with her and her father, they should have shown a time lapse of the 7 years set in between, showing how the father sees the Empire's occupation as hazardous, while Ocho sees it as an improvement. Would have made it much more impactful and convincing. I also like the character moment when the father gives Lop a lightsaber and admitting that he favored Ocho over Lop. It's one of the few moments in the entire series that got any emotion out of me. I have some nitpicks here and there, such as how does Lop know how to use the Force when she's never been trained? Ocho turned into an over-the-top villain way too quickly, and the ending was anticlimactic. 7 out of 10. Akakiri. I found it interesting that the Jedi dresses like a cowboy, but wields a lightsaber. The animation style here was kinda weird. I didn't like how they lowered the frames for each lightsaber swing, but the character designs were okay. I like the two old men that were guides, they were very funny and memorable. The moment the Jedi joins the Sith is a good callback to when Anakin joins Palpatine in order to save Padme, except this time it actually happens. He heals his loved one. But unfortunately, now he has to serve his new master. Was quite surprised they had a dark ending. 7 out of 10. Overall, I think Star Wars Visions is a huge win for Disney and Lucasfilm. Even though I didn't like all the episodes, I still appreciated that they gave these studios creative freedom and they made a swing for it. The episodes I want to see a continuation of are The Duel, The Ninth Jedi, and The Elder. They should definitely have a season 2 and continue to take more risks with future projects. Overall, I give this whole series a 7 out of 10. Those were my thoughts. What were yours? Which were your favorite episodes or least favorite episodes? And which ones do you want to see a continuation of? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, see you next time.